everybody. Welcome to Urban Hermit Podcast. Cameron Jones here with my co-host,
Jordan Jones.
Oh,
You hear that
nice.
crack? You know
Sure
we are
did.
having a LaCroix.
I was about to say, it seems like a sparkling water of sorts.
I have been feeling like a beer lately, like just having beer. So I've
I've had a couple recently. It's like a Two Brothers gluten-free one, and like now that I do have like wheat and bread issues, but I forget what it is. It's just like I don't know. They're just gluten-free beer. Two Brothers one. It's good.
So I go to this corner store, just like a little liquor store. What are they? Just a convenience store, right?
Sure.
And I was trying to get. I got some LaCroix, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get like a big beer, like a 24 ouncer, and just really have a beer. And I didn't read the fine print close enough, and I just thought I was getting an ale from Two Brothers. I'm like, oh sweet, perfect. And it was an IPA. I'm like, fuck, I gotta drink an IPA.
I like IPAs. That's like my preferred beer. So I'm like I sound like such a hipster, but I just do like a bittery beers. I don't know. It's my taste preference.
I like more like, I mean, outside of like just normal like lagers and shit. I like, I guess sweeter beers like,
I feel like you usually like something dark though, and like thick and like stouty.
Yeah, but I think that dark beers are sweet because they have like chocolate and coffee notes. Anyway,
true.
That's enough beer talk. I assume nobody wants. Should we just keep doing that more? You a mead guy?
Well,
no, I'm joking.
actually, I want to talk about brandy. Funny enough, we were just talking in our Patreon.
The recording artist or the sipping drink? The dessert drink.
The sipping drink.
I'm just going to put away a lot of my brandy notes then for the recording artist.
We were just talking in What You Watch in our Patreon series. So if you want to help support the network, go over to patreon.com/Cult Classics Pod to go help out and get some premium content. But I just watched the movie Copycat, and in that, Sigourney Weaver is just drinking a big glass of brandy and a big like snifter like the whole time, and it really made me want to have some. And luckily enough, we had some down in the basement in our like little liquor area. So I just had like a little glass of brandy yesterday. It was fine. I just somehow just had never had it on its own. I don't know. I'm always more of a whiskey guy, more so a White Claw guy now.
I think I had a lot of brandy on Christmas Eve.
Recently, like this year?
This year, yeah. I don't know if I'd had brandy before, but it was out, and I had brought in lactate eggnog, and I went hard on the brandy, and I got real drunk, and Megan's like, you gotta go to bed. And I go, oh, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I woke. I did the presents and everything with her family, but I don't think I embarrassed myself, but that's how people were talking to me. Like you embarrassed myself. But luckily my brother-in-law was there, and I didn't embarrass myself as much as them.
Oh, there you go. Do you remember a few Christmases ago when rum chata was like all the rage? What that like just went by in a flash?
I think you can all,
Take
everything
so much.
comes and goes. What's the big drinking thing? I don't even know. I don't drink that much anymore. I know a lot.
Now it's just White Claw. It's all hard seltzer. You know what it is. You've been living it.
That's true, but I know a lot of Megan's friends that like live in the suburbs or whatever. They've gotten into two things, and I'm afraid that this will happen to me if I have to move away from the city. Collecting whiskey, and they're all into smokers, like smoking meat, which all sounds fun.
I don't hate those things. I'm not going to lie. I mean,
Those two are great things, but I don't like to feel like I have to live my life by an assignment. I'm not going to get into whiskey. I know I like rye whiskey. What am I going to do? Collect 40 bottles?
yeah. Just join one of those mailing clubs. Have it come
What
to
would you collect? You actually seem like you might be. Well, I suppose you kind of.
I've actually really never been a collector.
But like you get through it because your instruments are sort of like a collection. So it's like.
For how long I've been playing, I don't have that many. I've always kind of just kept to bare minimum. Like our friend Chris and like our guitar player, he has a million guitars. He has way more than me. He is legitimately kind of like collecting though.
I love seeing people's collections. I'm like, cool. In no way would I ever do it. You know what's the one weird that type of hobby thing?
What's that?
I love the finished product, but there's no way that I have the skill set, desire, follow through, or passion to do it. But when I see a little city with a train display, like at a museum, I'm like, I like that.
Oh, I love
that a lot.
Even though they're so simplistic and like that's meant to like entertain first grade me, when I see a very elaborate train set depicting something, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, let's look at the details here. Let's get close for a second. Oh, is there a button for me to illuminate like an oil rig? Great. Let's like wait behind this child so I can touch that.
Yeah, it's the best. I love it. There's a great one, and obviously the Science and Industry Museum in Chicago, but I'm sure there's a lot.
That's the best.
What would you?
The only thing I did get into collecting though was Pokemon cards for a second, and in that phase when I was in Digimon Pokemon, but like I didn't get as hard as my other friends. God, I wish I could find where my book was because I bet some of those ones I had were early on limited. Like I bet I have some money in that book that I threw away at some point years ago. Or more likely mom and dad did, because I don't think that ever moved from my parents' house to Chicago with me. So, God, I wish I could find
I
that.
helped mom and dad move from Manchester to Cedar Rapids, and if I saw a fucking Pokemon thing, I'd be like, throw this shit away.
Burn this. In fact, burn this. Burn this
Burn
now.
it if you can. Burn it now. No, God, it was
There's
so
probably at least a few $100s in there of some cards I had. I had quite a few.
So there's a value at a few $100s. But how much is your effort worth for getting that few $100s? That's not like just getting to you. You're saying you put it on email?
Well, very easy, because all you were doing at the time, and what people are still doing, is just going into, like, they're at the checkouts with candy at Walmarts and stuff. You just get
no. I'm saying is
$1
how do you get somebody to give you $100 for that? You just put it online?
You have to sell. Yeah, it's like anything else. I mean, you just sell it online.
Yeah, so you have to set up an account, post a picture, ship it. It's just not worth $100.
These could be worth thousands. I think it is worth it. It really is, though. I think you're wrong here. It's not that much work.
I think because I have...
All you had to do was take a picture of it with your phone and post it.
I think because I'm not affluent, it's worked the reverse on me. I have no value for money because I don't have much. So I'm like, I don't really
I have
care.
a little. I'd like to get some more of it. What is that from a wedding singer when he's talking about his bank account?
I have a little. I'd like to get some more.
Well, I mean, what were we talking about? I lost my train of thought with the
We're
wedding
talking
singer.
about collecting. And
Okay.
here's the thing that from most collectors, people that collect stuff I know, they're either... And this is a wide generalization, but something that I picked up on.
Mm-hmm.
They're either only children or like there's a big age gap between them and their siblings. Like you and I shared a room.
Sure.
In no way could we have had, and this goes for both of us, a collection of anything.
You
would have gotten moved.
Did you
it
have
would have gotten
baseball
replaced.
cards growing up? I feel like I remember there being some around when you were younger.
If I did, they came with something.
Okay.
You know, like a Sports Illustrated for kid.
I'm
sure I
had
looked
Pogs
at
at
them.
one point, but I don't know why we were getting them and what to do with them.
I never went in the pod game. Here explains my collecting. I'm sure I've told the story on all of our platforms and to you, Cameron, many times.
Sure.
And to our listeners who are mainly our friends and family. But I'm going to tell it anyway because it seems like the appropriate time. Grandpa gave all of the grandkids for like a Christmas the starter set for the state quarters, right?
Oh, I remember those, yeah.
They had I think they started with like 12. So between me, Cameron, and our sisters, the 5 of us all got them, as did all of our cousins, right? So you had this 12 and he had the starter map, and then it was your job to collect the rest. I, as a greedy little asshole kid, immediately took these because we celebrated Christmas in July because they're snowbirds or whatever. So I took mom and dad brought them all home from this family Christmas, put them in a corner somewhere. The moment I got my grubby little hands on it, I went to the pool like twice, whatever the value was of 12 quarters times 5 people. I'm like, that serves us better than anybody's wasting their time collecting quarters.
Now, what I did with mine, Jordan, around that time, I was fundraising for like a school thing. So I had one of those little boxes of candy, and I supported myself by emptying my quarter collection and eating all the 100 grams of saltwater taffies out of it and slowly depleting my box with just the money I got from that.
It's like a weird kid version of like embezzlement. Like I don't know if embezzlement's the right way, but yeah.
Misappropriation of funds for sure. I don't think that's what he wanted us to do with it.
I've never gotten to the bottom of this. Why back in the day, and I don't know if kids do it now because I don't know if magazines exist, but I know other schools that weren't just ours would do the magazine sales, right?
Right.
You got to peddle something. Why do we do that?
Because the schools were getting a kickback. They were getting a portion of the money.
Oh,
This
there
whole
you
thing
go.
was a scheme for magazine companies to up their sales by getting a free child labor force.
No, I
and then
totally get where the
and then
magazine
giving
people
that
are coming
kickback to
from.
the school. They were getting a cut of the profit. That's why there was always a goal of like, we need to reach this much, and then we get like better lunches next year.
So was the kickback for the teachers like, hey guys, some of these Hershey's have dollar bills in it too? Or
Nah. This wasn't for the teachers. This was an administration thing, Jordan.
They-
This benefited nobody except for the fact that we all got to re-up our prescriptions on these magazines.
I don't think we have an
Subscriptions.
email account for this podcast yet or an Instagram page.
Sure do.
So just personally,
We have all of the above. We
we have an email account for this one?
We have everything, and I've been posting to them.
We have an Instagram page just for this podcast.
Yes, we do. There's stuff on it. Please go visit and interact. Jesus Christ.
For the Urban Hermit, we have an Instagram page?
Yeah, go on to your point. Yes. Everything is set up and
Oh,
official.
Jesus,
yeah.
I'm really
I do
making
so
a
much
fool
work.
of
It's
myself.
insane. Go on. What did you say?
Well, it's not going unnoticed, right? I don't even know what to say now. I feel like a fool. I was just going to say, let me know if your school, if you guys had to peddle magazines.
And if you want to do that, you can write into urbanhermitpod@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at urbanhermitpod.
I'm sure I missed some messages.
You're an admin on these things. You have account information.
Let me see.
It's no big deal. We haven't posted much there because we're still kind of building a library at this stage in these ones.
But more importantly, like and subscribe and tell your friends, you know?
Yep, that's what's important.
Give us a better bureau rate. Well, there we go. I follow it.
See.
We got 4 posts.
So I've been sick off and on the last few weeks. This illness is from you, I believe, from a few days ago. You're getting over a cold.
I did get like a little cold, yeah.
But I just keep getting sick. Like, I have a very small circle of people I see. It's you and my band. That's it. But my band members have been getting sick and getting it to me. So I've been doing a lot of just staying in and watching movies. But I did want to, this got me thinking of like, you really don't get sick often anymore. And I feel like, yeah. And just for the viewers out there.
Oh, me personally, or just like humans in general?
you, Jordan Jones.
Oh, yeah, not very often.
And we often attribute it to the fact, our family, you had what we call your failure to thrive. It was almost like the title of Harry Potter, The Boy Who Lived. But you were just always so sickly as a young child that it's like you caught every disease.
I think it's twofold. I was sick. I had like respiratory problems as a kid. But then I also got my tonsils taken out as a young kid. So I really think that's attributes to a lot of the like strep throat and colds. Like I don't have bacteria, anything build up there because I don't have tonsils.
I have my tonsils, and I wish to God my parents would have gotten them taken out because I have so many problems with my throat. Oh, you're so lucky.
Yeah, I would have loved that. I wish somebody would have taken out my appendix and my gallbladder if it doesn't do anything. I don't want them to explode on me. You know?
I feel that.
And if I didn't have an appendix, it would take away my biggest medical question. Is this pain in my appendix or is it not?
Nope, that's just good old-fashioned liver pain. We're fine.
It's just my liver. That's great. But it's not my appendix. That's my biggest question nowadays.
But also on that, I just want to say, this is maybe a little controversial for a lot of people out there because they've been very anti-mask, but like, oh God, have I missed just everyone wearing a mask now that the mandate went? Because since that's gone away, I haven't caught COVID yet since the mask mandate went away. But funny enough, my drummer just texted me saying, test yourself because he has
still out here.
Yeah. What? Well, just now that I'm not wearing a mask, I've gotten a cold and the flu now, like in the last like 2 months, like immediately, just because I've been protecting my face for like 2 years, and now everything's just getting blown out of my mouth.
One of the dumb anti-vaxxer things that anti-mask, anti-vax people, they're like, look at the science. Haven't you noticed? And this was like during quarantine when everybody's wearing masks. So like colds have gone down and flu has gone down. So I'm like, because nobody's leaving their house, and when they are, they're wearing masks. That's why they've gone down. Yeah. That just annoyed me so much. Anyway, so maybe we should.
Science is working. But my whole stance is mask forever. Because here's my other thing. It has been so cold the last few days, and I wake up now at like 7:30 or 8 to just our dog barking because he has to go outside. So I immediately have to bulk up, and I kind of miss the fact that like the mask mandate's gone. I don't have to wear it. But I kind of want it because my nose gets so cold in the morning, and I love the extra coverage.
Maybe this is why southern red states had such a problem with it, because they didn't have winter, and they didn't see any pro benefit to it. It's cold up here in the north.
If you are listening to us from a warmer state, southern, that is one thing you're missing. In a head-on win, when you had that face coverage and you didn't look like a crazy for having like a whole ski mask, it was great. It was just, it ended up becoming discreet coverage and heat. Yeah, it was great.
It's not too bad.
So I just want to say I'm pro mask forever. I think just after COVID is gone, we should all just get real into keeping those around.
You know what's the benefit of, at least, I don't know if COVID's gone, but I know that we've gotten way more relaxed on, like, everybody's just like, well, we're done with it. We got new things to worry about. Mm-hmm. It's nice to be able to sneeze in public and
not
cover
weird.
your mouth and sneeze the right way, but not have people look at you like you just killed them.
Yeah.
You can't hold back a sneeze.
You can try. I know, what was it, you on a car trip or our sister that tried to keep her eyes open while sneezing and got like a terrible migraine for like an hour car ride after that?
It certainly wasn't me.
It might have been our sister Megan. It was someone in our family, but I remember them like holding their eyes open to just try it because they heard you couldn't do it or something, and then gave them a really bad headache.
I'm gonna switch topics. Coming into this Urban Hermit, we're recording after work, and I was in such like a bad mood. I was just gonna bitch about work,
Sure.
but I'm over it now, so that's good. So you missed that. If we would have recorded this 45 minutes ago, I'd been like, "What's it all fucking about? This is so stupid." You would have got a completely different me, but I've mellowed out a little bit. I'm now closer to life is good, not completely. Like I'm not on vacation, but 45 minutes ago, I'd been like, "Fuck this."
Well, I'm
Fuck
really
that.
happy
Fuck all
that
this.
Dad got his glass of scotch and he's in front of the TV quick before dinner.
But I don't want it to be that. Last weekend, we did see a movie, and that was nice, but I felt like I just went to bed and woke up and work happened again. I fucking hate working.
Oh, dude, that was
I don't
me
have a
all
hard
week.
job. I don't have a lot of responsibilities, but I hate all work.
No,
I guess I found it. I'm back into it.
I 100% agree, though. That's been me all week because work has just been annoying, and I'm with you, but I'm happy you're out of it, man. Happy you got your after-work cocktail or whatever.
I'm at that one point in office space where he's like, "So what I'm telling you is every day I wake up is the worst day of my life." I'm relating with that right now.
That movie is the most relatable office movie. You had a little time in office. Did it become relatable?
Oh, I mean, I have an office job again.
You spent a long time without it, though, and we did Office Space on the podcast before you did. Now, in retrospect, looking back, are a lot of those tropes feeling pretty real?
Oh, yeah, I feel like the way I'm way closer to the jump to conclusion guys.
Sure.
Like, they're gonna fucking fire us all. And, like, that's pretty much where I rest. Like, I see the painting, like, the writing on the wall, you know what I mean?
I'm worried I'm the guy that's doing everything right. They're still going to fire him in the end anyway.
Oh, I'm definitely not doing anything right. I know that at work, I am a completely different... You would not recognize me at work. I mean, you would because you know what I look like. But my personality is completely shut off.
I used to worry that when I went into the office, I've been working at home now for a few years, but I had to make a point to talk at least once a day because I'm like, I haven't said anything, I think, this week. They're going to think I'm crazy. But in my defense, all of our work was auditing. Everyone was just headphones in listening to podcasts. But... I mean, I've made a point to make this job a job and not a career. So I was just going in, listening to podcasts. I wouldn't take my headphones out all day at a 9-to-5 corporate office job. How crazy is that? Literally didn't talk to anybody, would just walk in, walk out without saying a word to people.
I don't have a lot of personal conversation. Here's why. It takes me so much effort to do work at a low level, like because I'm so inherently not a worker, that I'm using all I can to do this job poorly. I don't have time to talk about you or your life. We're not going to hang out. We're not going to make friends.
See, and that is the one thing. I've made a lot of friends over the years through just my restaurant jobs when I was younger. And by the time I had this corporate job, I was like, I think I have enough friends. I don't want to make any more.
I live such an insular and like codependent life. My urban hermit ways has just gotten to the point where I was like, I don't have a social circle anymore outside of like you and Mark pretty much.
Yeah, but now it's turned into business.
I know. In fact, the only way I talk to you now is through like Zoom calls. we've
never been closer.
That's true. I know more about you. You work from home this whole time. That's amazing.
Sure have.
Here's like a trope or like a stereotypical thing that is true of me. Megan, if I go hang out with somebody I haven't hung out in a long time, a friend back home or like leading up to the wedding, they're like, "Oh, what's so-and-so up to?" I'm like, I don't fucking... Like after my bachelor party, I'm like, I don't know what they're up to. I mean, we learned that Matt was having a rough go at it, but that was late at the night, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. Like they have kids and they have a job, but that's not what we talked about. I'm not interested in that stuff.
I've always been terrible about that. Like even just back in the college days, like mom and dad asked like, "Oh, what's so-and-so doing? What are they majoring?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. He just comes to my house in Chicago and we get really drunk for a weekend and then he goes back to his life." I don't know. That's not what we're not talking about his studies.
Yeah, like I mean, and
but
I think
they're
they're
kind of crazy. Some of my closest friends, like I didn't know what they went to college for. Like I have one friend that I stay in like really close contact with outside of like band and projects and podcasts and stuff, and I know what he's doing. He's an environmental engineer. He's doing great. Props to you, Ben Gavin.
I mean, I generally know what people do as a job, but I don't want to talk to you about your job. That's not why we're friends. I don't care what you do. I hope it brings you joy. And that's not going to happen. So at best now, just money is what you need. So some people, though, I think we're the oddities. I think people like to talk about their lives and their jobs and their families a lot. Whereas we're more in the podcast world and we like to talk.
I like to talk about what I watched. But
hypotheticals that never will come up. when people are like, what do you do for a job? I'm like, fucking who cares? Who cares?
Well, here I usually do say I work like at my corporate job, but should I be telling people like, oh, I'm a musician and a podcaster? Have I just not? I should.
No, we don't make enough money to say that.
Is that why people don't listen to us? Because no one has any idea that we do it because we don't tell anybody?
Oh, I guess I should tell more people, but I think selfishly when people tell me they have something, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
For some reason, the only people I hassle with are when Uber drivers talk to me. I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to spam you with my content. I'm like, well, actually, here's all the things I do. Check it out. You want to put it on? How about we put it on right now? Let's check out my music.
I guess this is how weird I am. Like when I did that intro on Brooks's podcast, I didn't even mention we have a podcast because I didn't want to be like,
that's that one you should have maybe. That's on you.
I know, but I didn't want to feel like I was using my friend.
That was the one time to do it.
So I missed out, and I'm going to be a failure in life.
Yep. If you're featured, then then you get to promote. That's the whole point,
Would you have done it?
Yeah.
So I failed this.
I mean, you're fine. Hopefully they find out you're friends through another way.
Yeah. Oh. So we did go to the rabbit hole of man work is fucking stupid and stuff.
Hey, you took us there, man. I did. You led us to the hole.
I was telling you life was good, but then I kind of looked around. I'm like, maybe
it's not that great.
Maybe it's not that good. You want to get to Colts or?
God, do you have anything new to add to Colts? Do you have anything? No, I'd say let's skip on that.
No,
just kind of what we're talking about with different jobs. They're like, I wish I want to learn math and science. I just didn't comprehend it in high school, but there's no way for me to do it now. It's too late. I mean, it's not. There's resources everywhere, but I don't know what I would practically use it for.
The answer to this, and this is an annoying answer, if you dedicate the time, the resources are out there in the internet or whatever you can, but you're not going to.
I do put a lot of things on in the background. Like, for instance, that audiobook I was talking about was actually an author about some, like, a business entrepreneurship book. And it was a bestseller. It just happened to be, like, 15 years old, maybe.
I hate when people are like, well, if you want to have a good career, just find what your skill set is and just go into that. It's like, well, what if you don't have a skill set? And you just work a dumb job, I guess, if you're lucky.
Well, the problem with that logic is just a lot of those skill sets don't pay well or at all.
Do you know what my strongest skill is? Being affable, just being agreeable and nice. But you can't make money off of that.
Yeah, you can. I make a greeter or a host. That's what their job is to be.
Oh, no. That takes multitasking skills, Cameron. And you got to sit people, and you got to deal with people that are unhappy. I don't like confrontation in any form.
I mean, there are those things that are like friend for money, where you just have to like sit around and hang out and just make someone feel good about themselves. So why don't you just go to one of those websites and hang out with like?
Ambitious you have to be to get hired to be someone's friend?
Do you? Because I wouldn't. It seems more like a desperate thing for me, where it's like, oh, $20 and just go watch Netflix.
That'd be great, but I'm not going to go to someone's house and watch Netflix, and I shouldn't be inviting strangers.
Jordan, I think you're missing that we can lean into this desperation that you could say that, and be like, I'll come to you. Yeah, I'll come watch Netflix at your place. And then you could also be like, I also don't have a Netflix account right now. Do you have?
Oh, that'd be great.
Actually, I should stop talking. Great. I feel like I'm just setting up a crazy
career path.
I mean, it seems catfishy. I mean, it's definitely scammy. It's 90 Day Fiance without any of the travel.
Ooh, you know what's great about me, though, if I want to catfish people? Since I have, like, over the last year, lost a decent amount of weight, I'd show them, like, when I was heavy so I could come and get, like, crazy compliments. Like, whoa, you look so much better than you used to. I'm like, yeah, it's an old picture. And, it's tough to get pictures nowadays, so I just use that one. You guys want to watch Netflix and share account information?
So you got it all figured out. To that note, though, I haven't changed my social media pictures in a long time. Like the main picture of me, it's maybe 5+ years old.
I was prior to getting married, I didn't do that, but then I updated a lot of pictures, and I don't use Instagram, so.
I mean, I did have a lot of excuses, though. I mean, I'm in a band. We do live shows. We often pay photographers to take pictures for. I mean, I have a lot of pictures of me. I just don't
go
use
on a
them.
crazy tear. Okay. I know I'm older because I didn't transition to giving a shit about Instagram. I just use it for our podcast, but my personal account, I'm like, I don't really care.
I mean, that's what mine is. It's just, I mean, unfortunately, to be a musician now, you just have to have a brand in a social media.
Well, that's what sucks. To be anything, whatever you really do, you love playing music, but you really just have to be a social media influencer for your shit.
True. It's sad how often just like our business meetings for just band stuff turn into, all right, now let's talk numbers and social media and TikTok. That's what it is now, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I guess that's a problem for our podcast because
we're not on TikTok.
Well, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. Are we on TikTok?
Touche.
Because I don't fucking know.
No, but we should and could be and will be soon, maybe.
Well, what's funny is out of the three of us, we definitely have one guy that should be doing our TikTok, if anybody, because I think he's probably on it personally.
Who, Mark?
Yeah, I would assume he does TikTok stuff.
Funny enough, no, he hasn't. I'm the one doing a lot of the TikTok for the band.
Oh, geez. And again, don't follow us on TikTok. It's not us.
Yeah, don't do that. And I was thinking of something to say. I had nothing.
We'll keep you abreast of the situation when we do get on TikTok. Check us out.
Don't worry, we won't stop talking about it at the end of the episode when we get there.
What would we even do?
Clips of us talking. It would be this. That's what everyone. TikTok is full of people doing their video podcast. What would we do? We would do this.
God, I feel like we must feel so old to like young people, relatively young people, like someone who's 25, like 10 years younger.
Well, just listening in, yeah, a little bit.
But here's the deal. I don't myself, anything I like, I'm not following them on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or anything. I will just, like if I like a musician, I'm just going to download their music and I'll see if I want to see them on tour. For a podcast, I subscribe to their podcast, and that's it. That's my relationship with them. Why would I want to follow anybody else in any other way?
Having that said, bonus content,
check us out on Instagram. And I was
about to say, and you can follow us on Patreon to subscribe for premium content and help support the station.
You can pay for premium content, but we're not just going to give it away. Should we start just making? And this, and here's a pitch. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure this is going to sound dumb, but
sure, Shark Tank me.
All of our Instagram stuff, the way we should, sorry, I just said Instagram for everything. All of our social media, we should treat it like it's a bonus feature for a DVD. And that's how we do it.
That sounds like a lot of work. What do you mean?
Just featurettes. Really go balls deep into featurettes.
Okay, again, what does that mean for us? What are our features?
Like we do a little behind the scenes of the of the podcast.
So just about how it's made.
Yeah.
Okay.
A featurette. That's all what featurettes are, how it's made. Go back and go to your.
So here's what I imagine though.
And grab a DVD.
It's going to be just a bunch of footage of someone off camera filming us, and us all of a sudden hamming up for the camera because we're not expecting a camera offset when we're not filming. Like oh hey, what's up?
Yeah, that's what a featurette is, Cameron.
Yeah,
pretending to be surprised.
So you're saying we should just fill our page of hundreds of videos of us looking surprised that there's someone filming us when we weren't ready for it for the featurette, and going, hey, what's up, Mark? Oh, how's the behind the scenes shoot production going? Cool.
Let's shoot an MTV Cribs of your house.
Okay.
I think that actually be hilarious.
Do you want to do all of our houses, or just you were really pleased with my house?
I mean, you just got a bigger house.
Touche. I'll try to jazz up some features. Maybe
this is no lie. I was YouTubing, going down a rabbit hole, and like making it featurette of the Batman Begins or the Dark Knight trilogy came up, and it was like an hour and a half. And I watched the whole fucking thing. And it was so awesome. Maybe I'm just into featurettes.
Did you watch the movie after? Did it inspire anything or just?
Sure, but I've seen the movie enough. It made me like, I wonder what other featurettes of how they made the movie is on YouTube. It turns out a bunch.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all there.
Like right now, just between you and me, I'd love to watch the making of The Patriot. That sounds delightful.
It's off the top of the head. Some ones I can remember growing up. Galaxy Quest had a good one, very in-depth.
Oh, yeah. We really did live in the sweet spot of bonus material.
We sure did.
In fact, Megan and I, you may have realized that we left. I guess we talked about it on our last podcast, but Cameron and me and our fiance/wives, we went and saw that Nicolas Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Talent, or something like that. Anyway, we thought for sure there was going to be an end credits little scene, so we waited for the whole fucking thing, and it didn't happen. But
you don't need
it. We thought for sure. I like it. I miss it. I miss the end credits scene. The outtakes.
Not to make you sound old again, but Chris has informed me that when you do buy movies, digital copy, they often come with the DVD special features. I mean, I think they still exist. It's just you don't.
Shut the fuck up.
I think you just don't own movies. You've been streaming them for 10 years, so I think that's the problem.
Wait, they'll mail you a copy of it?
No, when you buy a digital, like when you buy digital Blu-ray, you can I own a movie now on Amazon. Chris is telling me a lot of times when you buy these movies digitally, they'll come with the special features.
Oh, I thought
I'm
you were
just saying
that
you and I have been streaming movies. We don't own movies anymore, so that's the problem. They're not going to give us bonus content, Jordan. We don't own it.
No, that's true. I'm getting to the point in the streaming era, since I do like to see movies in theater, right?
Sure.
But for a movie that I just want to rent and not see in the theater, it's like, should I rent this once for $5? Should I see it in the theater with Megan for like $35? Or should I just buy it for $20?
See, I actually just got that with Mrs. Doubtfire. We just did it for the podcast, but renting it was like $3.99. Owning it was $4.99. So easy one for me. I own Mrs. Doubtfire on Amazon on digital. So
suck it.
So I think from now on, as long as there's like a $1 to $2 difference, like
you're just gonna buy it?
Why not? I mean, like it was already filmed back in the day on that quality. No matter how 1080p we get with it, a lot of those movies I'm buying aren't going to get any better. They're just going to get a bigger cinematic scope, maybe, or something. So, like, yeah, sure.
I'm so happy that the Blu-ray DVD. What was the not Blu-ray version? What were the two things? That
DVD
were in
and Blu-ray. DVD,
no,
Blu-ray.
Okay, so like Blu-ray was going to take over, but then streaming just put the kibosh on that.
Yeah, and well, it was taking over because it was like the superior format. But
right, I owned a lot of DVDs, so I'm like so glad that I didn't have to buy a shit ton of Blu-rays. It didn't matter, and I only have like 2 Blu-rays.
See,
this is good stuff. You got anything fun to talk about?
Well, my friend Chris, once again, he's always had a DVD collection. He moved on to Blu-rays, but he is buying movies digitally and storing them on a hard drive now. So I mean, he's doing it all. And like a lot of those movies you buy on Blu-ray, you can it just gives you the digital copy. So he pretty much just already owns the form of a lot of those.
What sucks is the only way I'm going to start buying videos to own in some digital form
VHS again.
I actually go back to featurettes. One of my favorite things about the movies is you get to see so many previews. I enjoy it. It does spoil a little bit, if you want to go completely surprised. But I could right now, if there's a YouTube channel or when we're back at Mom and Dad's, I just like watching trailers on VHSs from my childhood. It's so nostalgic. It's like a warm blanket. I love it. Anyway, the only way I'm going to start buying digital movies is when all these streaming platforms are like, hey, we've got commercials again. It's cable. And we don't got a million options.
Well,
it'll probably end up typical.
It's never going to happen. I mean, they don't need to. We don't need to do that again. Something off that too. We've talked about this before, but our family was really big in the VCR recording days of just taping movies off of like a VHS tape. So we would have like Jurassic Park, A League of Their Own, and all these weird combinations of things we taped together. So I grew up with a huge collection of 80s commercials that I shouldn't have any knowledge of, but just I grew up watching old VHS. And then on top of that, I just have so many weird connections of like movies that go together, like Pee Wee Herman. Also, I think was maybe on that Jurassic Park one. Young Guns and Ghostbusters kind of go together, I think, for me, because those might have been on the same VHS.
It's like a mixtape where you hear it's getting hot in here, and you're like, "Oh, next is Aerosmith."
Yeah,
but we did those with movies, and I assume a lot of listeners can relate with that. let me try to think of the weirdest one. Keep going through your.
I can't think of too many more. Just like, but I mean, that's all of our movies. Or like a lot of them were just taped off cable.
I'll give you the weirdest one. The first half of the tape is chorus line.
Okay.
One singular sensation, followed by Goonies. So when I think of Goonies, I think of chorus line and vice versa.
Time out. There was something after Goonies too. I forget what else was on that tape.
Might have been.
A lot of our big movies had a couple big movies on it because I keep them all together.
Well, the even funnier thing is, you would get the tail end of one cassette would be the start of one movie, and you'd have to piggyback onto another cassette. So I know that Indiana Jones Temple of Doom was at the end of one movie and then the beginning of another movie's cassette, but I just can't remember what it was paired with. You'd have to like split them up. I taped this one on my own because I was so into baseball as a young kid. TNT showed The Babe starring John Goodman, but there didn't used to be just like full hour tapes or hour and a half cassettes. There'd be like sometimes 20-minute ones. So I taped that on my own and like a dipshit because I was a dipshit. I have that like in 6 parts on like 20-minute VCA. Nobody wanted to watch it. It's in my handwriting. I wrote The Babe in cursive. Nobody watched it. It was just a nightmare. The funniest thing is one time Cameron, now most of these cassettes you would buy for the purpose of recording. But you could record over a purchase like Disney movie. And I remember one time Cameron was
a lot
watching.
of those have like, you can flip a switch, but like a lot of them have a protection on it.
Yeah, they have protection, but you still could record it because midway through, I think it's like Cinderella, you recorded like 20 minutes of Jaws or like Deep Blue Sea or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. It might be Beauty and the Beast that got a little taped over or something.
Oh, all right. God, I wish I could remember some more. I know Clues got.
I did that again. We were Rose read that Stephen King miniseries.
Jesus.
Our mom was working at the time, and she wanted us to tape that for her when it was on. But I just remember coming in at one moment, forgetting we were taping it, but just being like, "This is so boring," and changing the channel, and everyone freaked out, like, "No, we have to go back." And then there was that moment that just got recorded. But
that's another thing out there, kids. You can record 6 shows at once now and watch something. Back in the day, whatever you were recording had to be playing live on TV. It wasn't until later on that you could watch another channel and record another channel. So for a week in our lives, the miniseries Road Red by Stephen King, which is awful, I think he'll admit to it and everybody will admit to it, written for TV adaptation, that was what was on TV for the whole week. And Cameron got to his breaking point. He's like, I can't take it no more.
We have to go at night. I can't do this.
And so our mom, after a long night of work teaching kids how to dance, she was a dance teacher, came home. She's like, what happened? There's 10 minutes. There's 10 probably crucial minutes missing of Rose Red.
She missed nothing.
God, that was fucking awful. Rose Red sucks.
So I've been trying out Ring Life. I put it away. Let me get it back out here. But fiance.
Oh, yeah. Let's see it.
Fiance got me my ring. And it's just silver. It's a plain silver band.
God damn it. I should have gotten that. I think, a little bit too clunky of one. I've shown you. It's not horrible, but
a lot of people, though. I mean, my drummer, his ring seemed a little bigger, too. I feel like a lot of people are going for more of your flat, kind of wider vibe.
I didn't want this. I wanted what...
I feel like I have like a classic, like, I don't know what a dad in the 70s would, or like any of our dads would have. I don't know.
So I noticed it was silver. Did you contemplate getting gold?
No, I kind of just wanted silver or platinum, something that would have like, the silver color.
I'm thinking about going gold.
Oh, yeah? I don't know. Maybe, if it looks good on you, maybe I'll think about it. Let me think. Our dad probably had gold, right? Because,
I would say up until like and this is a generalization, most of the time it was gold until probably about the like late 90s, early 2000s. And then it switched to like silver and platinum.
It wouldn't look terrible. It definitely does pop on my hand. It like sticks out that there's something on it. Whereas I feel like gold would maybe blend in a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll look good, but I kept looking in it, and I think I will switch my ring because I didn't spend a lot on my ring, obviously. But I ultimately just, when we were picking up Megan's wedding band, I just wanted to get a ring so we didn't have to think about one more thing. And I should have, the internet exists, and I should have thought about it. Yeah, so I wasn't at the time, but I've learned. And check us out on Instagram and all those things where the internet exists.
Because of your ring shopping experience, I did my entire thing online. Never saw the thing, just trusted in the process, and it came to me.
Oh, yeah. You probably did it, but I guess I took a little legwork from you, but mine was a nightmare.
Kind of, just because I was there, so like a lot of the questions you were a lot of things got answered for me through your process, but also... I don't know. I was just doing a factory-made diamond too, and so I was like, it's supposed to come exactly like this, and it did. They made it for me.
Nice, yeah. Well, if you're out there, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to get a ring.
It's not that bad. It's only a nightmare if you make it one. Don't worry out there. It'll be fine. Do yourself a favor. Find a moment like mine where Jordan was already ring shopping, and I just found a way for me and my future fiance to look at rings and discreetly shop. Find a way to discreetly shop for rings anyway. That's the way to do it.
It's tough to discreetly shop when the internet listens to you talking on your phone and puts up ads for rings all the time.
That's true. You did bombard us with ring ads all over our house because you were doing it in secret on our Wi-Fi at our place.
Anyway, we got through. So, of course, if we're talking jewelry now.
Sure are.
Do I get to wear a pinky ring the next time I wear formal wear, or can I do that, or is it?
Yeah, funny. I've been thinking that too. If I'm going to get into jewelry, maybe I should just start getting some rings for some other fingers. But I have kind of bony hands. It's clunky. Like sometimes if I shut my hand a little too much, like it hurts. Like I have bruised before in the past wearing a ring. So I don't know. I might move to silicone for like an everyday wear and just wear this one when I'm feeling pretty, but I don't know.
Nah. Then you'll never come back to it. You know what I mean?
When I'm dressing up, dress up.
How often do you dress up though?
I consider date night and leaving the house kind of a dress up.
So you're considering denim jeans
and a flannel
dress up. Yeah, like not athleisure.
No,
wear,
I mean,
leisure
I'm
wear,
joking.
whatever.
But no, anything a little more date nighty, maybe like an actual wedding special event. I'll probably whip it out, then maybe go silicone for just everything else because I'm scared.
Yeah,
of
but
ring
it's like
application.
it's like a pair of dress shoes. If they ain't worked in, it's gonna annoy you all night.
Our dad used to mow the lawn in dress shoes. Throw me an analogy for that.
I mean, I don't want to insult the man, but he shouldn't. Like his shoes were worn in. Like he didn't change into dress shoes. He came home from worked in shoes to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
He didn't make like I'm gonna mow the lawn as a fancy man. Like he came home from work and mowed the lawn like a crazy man, like a broken man, like Jesus Christ, my little chubby son Jordan didn't mow the lawn. I guess I have to, like that man.
Yeah. Touche.
So take that out or keep that in, however you want
I don't
it.
edit the podcast. I tell you this every week. That's all I have for my notes this week. You have anything else?
Well, I don't take notes, and you already said we shouldn't talk about Colts anymore.
I didn't say that. I asked, do you have anything new to bring to the table? To which you said no.
No, ultimately is the answer to that, but I don't want to join a cult. I just want somebody to tell me it'll be okay. And I don't want it to be an organized religion.
And again, I feel like usually they're saying the end is nigh. I don't think they're usually saying it's okay. I feel like it's like, who wants to battle for a spot on the ship to heaven? As I feel like what a lot of these are. So I think you're just adding.
So
stress.
how far into... Okay, here's a real question. Whatever. That's just going down a dumb rabbit hole that is like, here's two. It's kind of like anytime you bring up a conspiracy to me, I'm like, cool. What's even the point? I don't think it's true. Oh, check out though. Cam's got a new podcast. I don't know how often it's going to come out.
Well, we're going to build up a little roster. We'll be promoting that. But be on the lookout. There will be some more stuff coming to the Majestic Jam Network soon. So be on the lookout there.
Yeah, we got some things in the works, So thanks for listening. Hit us up on, is it TikTok?
Everything but pretty much right now. You can find us on
Everything but
social media at Urban Hermit Pod. If you have anything you want to write in, some notes we missed, you can find us on urbanhermitpod@gmail.com. Sorry about that. And again, if you want to help support the network and all the podcasts, you can go to patreon.com/cultclassicspod for premium content as little as $1. You can get a bunch of episodes a month. It's a pretty good deal. I mean, $12 for Hulu versus $1 for us. That's a bargain.
And when I tell people our Tinder account, is it... are we Bumblebee?
I don't even... great. Good work.
I did that. I thought about that while Cameron's talking the whole time. You may... All right, whatever. Bye.